2000.
No, Jack, no, not the black sack. Come on, Will. Black sack time. No. You want to ride the seas
I don't want to.
of the crap
I don't want
films,
to. Not
do
the
you,
shit
like?
film. No, not the black sack. No. No, I don't want to. No, not the shit film. No, not the black sack. No.
That Will. It's time for the black sack again.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to wake you up because I want to record another black sack episode.
I'm charging. Can't you see that?
Have you got enough charge for a black sack episode?
Hang on, let me just check my internal data banks. I've got the perfect amount of charge for a black sack episode.
Excellent, right.
Let's go.
Take a pick. What is it going to be this week? Hopefully nothing like Prodigy.
Oh,
okay.
no.
We have to we have to go for the first one. Which
The
one?
first one is, well, it's quite topical leading on from the last episode, is Bram Stoker's Legend of the Mummy 2. Legend of the Mummy 2.
I haven't seen the first one.
In a 4-disc compilation of
Well, we can't look at the... Well, we can.
of thriller films. Yes. Okay, cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
so... Yeah, let's go watch it. Sorry, I just had to walk like a mummy then.
Is it like you'd shit yourself?
Yeah. Okay, so... Will. What was the plot to... I need to get this title right. Bram Stoker's Legend of the Mummy 2.
Okay, so an old Aztec mummy is discovered, which they admit is highly unusual practice for that sort of society.
Culture. It's highly unusual because they never did that.
No. This mummy is discovered, taken to a university.
Mm-hmm.
There's students there. Mummy comes alive. The end.
Right, there's a little bit more to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Aztec mummy's been discovered.
Yeah.
There's a character called Norman.
Yeah. Norman. Yeah. Norman.
And he's secretly the ancestor of this mummy or culture. He brings about the mummy because it's tradition in an act of revenge against them because they've been so mean to him at this university or wherever it is. And he brings the mummy back, from the dead to kill them because he wants to appease the rain god and basically bring about chaos on Earth. That's it. That is it. That is the story.
I think the thing from that you've just...
And he needs a virgin sacrifice to do so.
Yeah. And the crystal in the gauntlet or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I think the main problem I have with it, and what you've just explained, is he wants to destroy the world by bringing back this... Norman wants to destroy the world by bringing back this mummy, by bringing this mummy to life in ancient Aztec rituals. But he has no reason to do so. He doesn't. He explains what he's doing constantly, but he does not.
Everyone explains what they're doing.
Yeah,
constantly.
everyone explains what they're doing constantly, but the bad guy does not say why he's doing it.
Well, he said at the end he was doing it because they've been mean to him, as an act of revenge. He did say it, but you pointed out that he earlier in the film revealed that he'd been practicing this ritual that he was going to induce on this night.
Yeah.
For a long time, and he had to sort of worm his way into the school system.
So whether or not those kids had been mean to him, before all this, he was going to do it anyway. So
it was a muddled, mixed message from our Norm.
But what a mix of hilarious things to happen.
Where do you even begin with what's funny about this movie? I think we should
begin with the fact that, again, just like Deadly Species, right? The acting was constant.
Yeah.
Everybody was just not good.
Some people were really chewing the lines.
Some people were really chewing the lines, but they weren't as bad as they weren't worse than everyone else. It was just like.
Yeah, I would say Norm was probably the worst.
Norm was definitely the worst. No, Malcolm was. He's not called Malcolm in the film. He's called Don.
We have to give some context to that. So we saw that. Well, that.
And this is what made us laugh so much. We were absolutely crying our eyes out. At this.
I noticed at one point that the Norm, the character Norm, the actor looked a little bit like the child actor who played Dewey in Malcolm in the Middle. Then we noticed there was a scene where it was established who our lead was, and it was this like normal middle of the road guy, even though he kind of looked like a jock, but with like a knitted waistcoat on, and
he was a little bit shorter than the tallest guy and a little bit taller than Norm, who's the bad guy.
Yeah, and the taller guy was this douchebag character called Morris.
Yeah.
I can't remember the actor's name, but it was his first film.
Yeah, Michael Lutz, I think his name was. Yeah.
And I said he reminded me a little bit of Reese.
Yep.
And then we noticed that there's a black character in it, and the girl with the glasses.
Yeah.
Was there a girl with glasses in Malcolm?
No, just the girl that he fancied.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
the
mum.
The woman who plays the professor, looks like I don't know her name actually. I don't know. Looks like the mum from Malcolm in the Middle. And then I said that the mummy was Hal. Just because it was constant, it was focused just on one thing, and that was killing all these people.
It was literally like we're watching a really weird version of Malcolm in the Middle.
And then for like no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, we said, "Where's Francis?"
Yeah, we said, "Where's Francis?" We've got this older brother, and then this other guy just pops in, and it looks like he's going to save Dave, but he's in it for like a split second before he dies.
Less than a minute, I think.
And we both went, "There's Francis."
That's Francis.
Yeah.
So that's why you called him Malcolm, because we can't remember the actor, the character.
No, I think it was Don. Because remember that at the end he was at the end
when he's like, "Yeah, Don.
Yeah, Don.
Your time on this planet is over, Don. Look at the mummy, Don."
And I brought this mummy back to life, Don. And it was just, God.
Okay, so that we noticed that was like stupidly funny. That just sort of weird, like dystopian, like a twisted look at Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah,
we thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
But then we cried. I don't think I've laughed this much at a movie.
So hard.
The mummy is Hal.
Oh God.
Lynn. Wait, what other characters from Malcolm in the Middle are we missing?
Oh God.
Because
movie for this long.
Okay, so this Aztec mummy is a rain god, right?
Oh God.
There is not one drop of rain.
There's not one drop of rain. There's not even one drop of water, apart from the shower going. Maybe that's why he turned the shower on. So just to put some context into this little thing, the mummy kills one of the women in it, puts her in the shower
for no reason.
For no reason that she's in the shower, and then
was it to hide the bodies? Didn't
I think it was to hide the bodies, but like the shower has been turned on, and like at first you think, it's because he's trying to like mask it as if she's having a shower so she stays hidden for longer. But no, because
they didn't establish Norm was in there though, so it looks like the mummy
just did it. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that was the only water in the film, but he was a rain. This god was a rain god. Supposedly, yes. And through the entire film, there was
the day shot at the beginning.
Yeah, there was a day shot at the beginning. So,
but that was it.
Yeah, it was like 10 minutes of daytime, and where they explained everything profusely, and then
that didn't stop.
But
then it just did not stop. Like, what would you call it?
Lightning strikes. You could just see the effects of the lightning strikes literally constantly throughout this film, and
it was like I might have to put up like a epileptic warning on this video because
there was flash, and it wasn't just like your like natural flash where it was like it flashes and then it goes away, and then maybe like between 30 seconds to 2 minutes later you'll have another flash and it'll go.
Yeah, you judge it. That's like how you roughly judge how far away
it looked like somebody had a strobe light and wasn't afraid to use it, because it was just like constantly, like it was easily 5 lightning strikes a second.
I know. See, there are all those names on the credits, right? But I have a feeling that the crew who were managing the lights had to manage the cameras and booms and stuff.
Yeah.
So they turned the strobe lights on.
Yeah.
And then they had to run around the set and start filming. So no one was there to manage. So they went, well, we'll just have to film with the lights flashing in the background.
And I do not envy the person who had to edit all of those thunder noise effects.
That genuinely gives me a headache to think about.
Because it was like there was not one scene after the daytime where there wasn't at least one lightning strike. And this place was full of windows, so you could see it in every shot. Every
shot there was lightning strikes, and every time the lightning strike there was thunder.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire movie. And then there was just one point where we snapped because there was just this constant flashing, just constant. And we're like, but what made us cry with laughter was just like, none of the characters speak about this.
No one even notices.
No one goes, this is really strange weather, but they're all wearing like tank tops and they're shivering, like they're cold, and you're like, there's no rain.
It's weird. It's almost as if that was the world they lived in. That was the normal like part of this universe was the constant lightning, and it's
you look at their eyes and they're constantly going.
Yeah, and it's like they came to our world and they're like at night, why isn't it constantly flashing? And you're thinking, my God, what is this? And like it doesn't get any more intense or less intense in any different place. Just constant
throughout. Although there is that one, as I mentioned, that one section where it's just constantly.
And it just looks like it's daylight. Like you said that. You said it just looks like it's daylight.
It might as well have been daylight. Like there was no point to it being set during that thunderstorm whatsoever.
No.
I get it was like they were like, oh, what also builds tension? Thunderstorms.
Yes.
In horror movies, that's a given. It's like, well, yeah, but you use it to your advantage. You don't just constantly have it as part of the set.
Do you know what really builds tension in a film?
What?
When your main monster bad character or evil character is walking around really slowly in the background whenever anyone is looking at the camera, like and walking, not just walking around slowly, but looking as if it really needs to go to the toilet.
It's like
but not even like noticing the character that is in front of it. It's just like doesn't even look towards it or even motion. It just walks straight from one room behind the character into another room, and then it's just like it's just hit or miss whether or not you're in this path.
There's that one bit where the kid is looking and it just walks behind him, and it's like earlier he heard a noise before he knew there was a mummy.
He heard a noise.
He heard a noise and he spun around really quickly and went, oh shit, like that, like he'd just seen something horrendous. But then when the mummy actually walks past him, he doesn't hear it at all.
Hear anything.
No shuffling feet, even though it's clearly shuffling.
It wasn't the most agile of mummies, was it? Like it was. Like either the padding that was inside the mummy costume or the padding that was on the human being who was inside the mummy costume was more than ample for a mummy.
That was a well-fed mummy.
As a well-fed mummy. Yeah. Like
you said it should have been really thin.
It should have been really thin and like quick. Like you said there's no reason that mummies can't run.
No,
there's like, and we know in the Mummy he's really quite agile. But
you talk about the Brendan Fraser one. You go further back to like the original Mummy from the 30s.
Yeah,
he's only in the bandages for like one shot, and the rest of the film he's wearing a fez and he's like a normal human.
Yeah,
but then you get to like the Caris Mummy, they call it in later Universal, and then I don't know if they do cross over into the Hammer films, but there's one called the Caris Mummy.
Yeah, and
that's the one in the bandages with the arms and like what this mummy is. But even then, that mummy, it's not that it's fat. It looks massive and like almost like unnatural. So you're like, oh my god, that's an imposing threat. But this just looked like someone's dad was wrapped, like Hal from Malcolm in the Middle was wrapped up in bandages and told to walk around this house for a day.
Oh, it was just.
And also, like, I'll give credit where credit's due, right? the face of the mummy
Was okay.
Was okay, right?
Yeah.
It didn't open its mouth,
Yeah.
didn't do anything, but it looks cool. However, when the mummy was walking around, I constantly thought, like, is the actor looking out of the nostrils? Because he was like walking. But if you notice, whenever there was like a scene where he was standing still, its head was like this, and then when they told it to walk away, it'd go. Also, so the mummy's face is good. I also liked the music.
Yes, the
Music was
good.
great for what it was.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit too good in parts. And the lighting. Not the lightning.
The lighting.
The lighting inside
Yeah.
the house. You could tell that the person who did the lighting kind of knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And probably this was actually a little bit below them, if I'm honest.
But to be honest, they didn't have a lot to light because that thing was definitely just set in one house.
One house that they probably
Like-
rented, like a hotel or something.
Yeah, and like there was no difference between where the students were staying in their dorms to where the museum or whatever the archaeological centre was, and it was
There was no like
There was
overhead
no-
shot
yeah.
of the grounds where you could
Yeah.
see where the dorms were
Yeah.
situated away from the building to give
Yeah.
you just some like geography of where the characters are. Like the dorms were, I think the dorms were like in 5 different sets. Like her
Yeah.
office,
Yeah.
the woman's office looked like it might as well have been one of the dorms.
when one of the characters goes, right, I'm now going to sneak off with this other character, you know, and they're like, oh, you better not go far, and you think like they should add on the end, because we can literally see you through the door. Like there's nowhere you can go. Like,
They might as well have been like, oh, what's going on? There's been people killed. Oh, there's a mummy over there. Look
Yeah,
through the dining room window. Look, there he is.
It's like, don't worry, he's not walking towards us, it's fine.
Yeah, just if he's walking towards you, just
Just
side
stay,
step out of the way, and he'll just keep going.
Oh, and right, talking about the credits, 2 other things that I noticed. Right,
Yeah, okay. This is kind of funny.
The less unusual one. There was a guy in the credits called Eric Cartman. Now, there was quite a few instances in the credits where you think
That might be a quite common name.
That could be quite a
but-
common name. There are quite a few instances in this thing where you think, are they just writing this in here to look like they've got more crew because they know no one is ever going to read this?
Well, they could be like what do you call it when someone has a fake name?
Yeah, like a
They're
pseudonym for the
Yeah.
But the second one that I thought was most hilarious was there was somebody called Cal, C-A-L, Amari.
Yeah.
So like
It's calamari.
calamari. It's just calamari.
Calamari.
Like who calls their like?
That's the one that gives me feeling like that's the
that isn't an English word, calamari. That is I can't remember which country it comes from, but it's like a Mediterranean word, right? Like Spanish or Italian maybe. Like
I'll look it up.
so if the person was from an English speaking culture, they would have known calamari as the food. So they would have purposely been calling their child Cal because it sounded like calamari, which is a dick move. Or if they were from that culture, they would have equally just called their child calamari, which is the food. Like I don't see any way around.
Either way, it's calamari.
Yeah. I don't see. Oh, that was the biggest mystery of this film, because everything else was just shown to you. In fact, it was shown to you so much you just thought to yourself, as Jack pointed out rightly, almost at the beginning of the film, I just feel like I'm watching actors do acting things.
Well, I didn't see characters. I saw
Yeah.
actors. Like
And you saw film sets, not like.
Yeah, it was one set. Like we
Yeah.
didn't even, like I said, like a few rewrites of the script, and you could have made this way more competent. Like instead of like a university where there's meant to be students and there's only 8 of them, you show like it's a retreat where some special select students have been invited to, and they are actually good at what they do and they do know what they're talking about. But then you have the arsehole character Morris, who's like there because his rich parents paid for him to go in.
Yeah.
And then
to
you're like,
keep him out of trouble, I think. He said as well.
Because like there's a scene where like the girl he fancies says like, I know you're just like secretly a shy dork and you're just putting this dick persona on in front of your friends, and he's like, oh yeah, well I stole this thing off the mummy and give it to you, and you kind of get like, oh yeah, he is okay, he's just like a schmuck. But then the following scenes, he just gets worse and worse. He suddenly appears in his vest.
It's like she's called him out and he's gone, well, I'll tell you what, I am a dick.
Yeah, and you're just like, what an arsehole. There's that bit where the girl like goes, hey, do you mind knocking when you want to come in? And he goes,
life's too fucking short.
Any chance have you ever heard of knocking?
Well, life's too fucking short. Hey.
And then he just carries on like, No, knock when you want to come into someone's dorm room. Jesus. And so, yeah, he just like, lives up to that persona. And so if he was paid to get into the universe, or paid into this like retreat or whatever it was, like, then fair enough. You know, like in Deadly Species.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Our good Deadly Species right here, right?
Yeah.
What happened in this? This is something Deadly Species got right. The students were selected by the teacher to go on the trip.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't necessarily like specialists in that area, but like he made a point of picking them out. Whereas this is meant to be on like a like
no one was a specialist in this film, apart from the guy with the rock and the paintbrush.
yeah, just walking around campus, brushing a rock. Well, they do use like in toothbrushes and paintbrushes in real archaeology, but you don't walk around campus doing it like that. No. You'd sit down at a desk and really like study what you're brushing.
It's just like he couldn't help but brush a rock. like he was like,
"Go clean my rock.
This is great. This is great." And he just picks up any rock and just brushes it.
I saw the actors, not the characters. Definitely, when it came to the character Norm, and Morris, those two were the worst. Like, in all honesty,
Norm was like when Norm turned up in that traditional Aztec garb.
I died a little bit inside. I'm not gonna lie. I felt sorry for the actor.
Yeah, but we laughed so much.
It's the leopard print gauntlets.
It's the leopard print gauntlets. It's the zebra stripe like little toga bit, and then like the rest of it looks slightly more Aztec, but there was just no need for it.
There really wasn't any need for it.
No, he didn't need to do that. He could have.
He'd made his point by that point.
Yeah. Actually, and he kept making his point.
Actually, he
made over and over again.
But he actually made his point about 15 minutes into the film to the professor, where he went on this massive monologue about what his plan was to her face, and we were like, "Why you're not under pressure, mate? Don't reveal your plan. Just kill her."
And she doesn't go anywhere. There's at least 2 other exits in that room. We know the mummy can't run, and he's insanely slow. And if he just happens to bump into you, he'll kill you. Like Morris doesn't see. No, not Morris. Norm doesn't see the bad guy. Norm doesn't seem to want to do anything for himself. So, like, she could have easily gotten out of there.
I don't know why she stayed.
And the naivety of Morris, the naivety when he walks into the same room, picks up the hip flask that she was drinking from as she was dying, and then when he puts his hand, to go, "Oh, what's this?" The woman in there says, "Oh, it's blood," and he goes, "No, it's paint."
No, she said it's paint.
Oh, she said it's paint.
He was like, "Oh, what's this? Has she fallen?" Like,
yeah.
And then she's like, "No, it's just paint."
It's just paint. Like
investigate further.
Who would be painting in a blood-like colour
on a hip
flask on the floor?
No one seemed worried, and no one seemed about that, and no one seemed worried why there was no rain yet thunder and lightning was happening directly overhead of this campus.
Constantly.
I think I vented all I need to say about this film.
Me too.
This, like, how many
lightning strikes?
How many lightning strikes out of 10 would you give it?
1,000,000, because they were just constantly going on. But no, I think, do you know what? It had a hilarity factor that I've not experienced in a film for quite some time.
Dewey got ripped. Oh yeah, finally someone actually fights back.
Go, Malcolm!
Come on, Malcolm. Stop Dewey.
Stop Dewey.
Stop Hal. That's the fattest mummy I've ever seen. What did he scream? Oh! Oh, they're linked. It's like Dragon Heart.
But why was he...
Mummy Heart.
Why was he having that fit when he when the mummy killed the other guy?
What's he doing to the mummy? Yeah,
like, we laughed a lot.
I'm still trying to hold back, like my throat hurts.
Yeah,
I've been laughing so much.
I was weeping tears of delight when I saw some of the.
It started
things.
rocky.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning, we were like, oh god, like this talking scene's going on. The credits actually went on for way too long at the beginning.
Well, something you said to me was you said that you felt like you were going to get bored, and it was a lot.
I just said a prediction. Boring. I said I have a feeling I'm going to be bored throughout this film. I should have been, because all the characters talked throughout.
Yeah.
And things just went on. Like I said, it was rocky at the beginning. Then it actually got quite semi-interesting.
Yeah.
With like the whole he's resurrecting the mummy and all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. But then it just went downhill in terms of like what happened. But it was so funny the way they were going about
Not
going
doing
downhill
things,
and not doing
yeah.
things, that it elevated the film into a level of hilarity that I've not seen yet in
quite
some
some
time.
I think
That's the reason I like the Black
Yeah.
Sack.
yeah,
That is the reason.
I think out of 10 lightning strikes, I'd probably give it 3, just because how much I laughed. Like,
I think it's a low score.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to give it a solid 8. I'm going to
Really?
8 lightning strikes out of 10.
okay, well,
Because I hadn't laughed that much.
well, okay, let's meet in the middle and like give it a 6.
6?
Yeah, let's give it a 6.
Alright,
Yeah.
6. So
Yeah, there are not many films that I've laughed that hard.
that's what I mean. Like
At,
entertainment,
not with, at.
Yeah, laugh
Yeah.
at. But that's a form of entertainment in my
Yeah,
eyes. That's
yeah.
like I could pop that in now.
I could watch it again.
I could watch
Yeah,
it again
could
because
watch
I
it
know
again.
how funny it
Yeah.
is.
I
Anyway,
could watch
should-
it again with other people and then keep constantly going, wait for this bit, wait for this bit.
Oh yeah, and really annoying.
Oh yeah. Just lightning
yeah.
flashing all the time.
Yeah, lightning flashing. Look at that. Right. So, because this comes on a 4-pack, this actually has to go back into the
Do
black
you want to
sack.
draw a little cross on it? Have we got
A marker pen.
a marker pen?
We do somewhere.
I did have one earlier, didn't I? Yes, that's it. Right.
Wait, the black sack doesn't let me wait in it. All right.
I'll
Right. Let me. Before we drop it back into the black sack,
We're going to give it a.
cross it out.
We're going to cross it out with the shape of a mummy.
Okay.
There you go.
Wait. You got to do the bandages. Come on. Come
Sorry,
on.
sorry,
There you go.
yeah,
There you go. There you go. And his little knife. His little knife. There you go.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sorry.
All right.
There.
So we've watched that one, and that goes back into the bag. Going back in charge.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Have you got your? Where's your sign? So I know.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's
Sorry.
down there.
It's down there. Okay.
Let me just get it. Yeah. Oh, it's come apart a bit. I noticed.
Is that what you're doing? You're now tying the string around
Yeah.
the cardboard.
Yeah. How would you see? People wouldn't know. Well, you wouldn't know. You're the only one on the ship, but you wouldn't know if I was on charge or not.
Yeah. And
Apart
they
from-
wouldn't
apart-
know. Well, they
well,
wouldn't know what you're doing unless you
no.
told them what you're doing.
Yeah. Apart from the massive like sort of cable I have to stick in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go get the cable because that's how you get power,
Yep.
isn't it?
Just
That's how you get power.
switch this on.
Yeah. Get your power on. I'm gonna lift this cup to my mouth and start drinking now. There you go. Make sure that's secure. Come on.
Life's too fucking short.